Okay, there we go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for showing up. Yes, so real quick. So we're doing things a little different. If you want to request a reading, just type exclamation reading in the chat and with your question. And my wonderful wife and moderator, Candy Hearts Art, will add you to the list. And you should see that list populating in the upcoming readings part of the screen. Because now I have all these cool graphics. So, and we will generally just go in order. And that's how we're going to do this. So thank you all for showing up. And while I'm waiting for a few folks to get their requests in and come in, I'm just going to take a moment to clear the air. And we'll get things all queued up and going. And then we will get to your readings. And readings are free, but you can certainly support us by either by subscribing, liking this video, clicking the bell icon so that you always know when we're going live. And also you can send a donation with the link that Nightbot has put in the chat for you. As little as $1 US goes a long way to helping us out here. So we appreciate all forms of support here. And I hope we have some wonderful readings this evening. So just take a moment to clear the air. Okay, let's see here. I'm just going to load these into the chat here. So just bear with me for a moment while we get our list here all loaded up. There we go. So Crown is 1408. You're going to be up first. We have a few others here in the queue. You were first in the queue, Crownist. How lovely. I want to thank Patty as well for coming in. I see Misty in here and Fairy Tale. Rudy Dog's mom, you seem like you're fairly new, so thank you for coming in here tonight. And we'll keep getting everyone queued up here. Let's see. There we go. We have Misty's reading. Add everyone into the list as we go. this turns out. Oh, great. The little list is working great. So let's get the rest of you in here, and then we will get going. So just bear with us one moment. Always testing out new things for our channel, new features and whatnot. Fairy Tale, you are third in the list. Okay, this is great. Oh, that's working great. The little list is nice, so everyone knows when. And if you happen to step away or get disconnected, I will post this after it's done, so you can always come back and check out your reading. So we've got a few people queued up here. I hope everyone is wonderful this evening. And I hope I sound good on the mic. Yeah, I do. Good. All right, so now we have the cool split cam. I spent all night working on these spiffy graphics, so we'll get Rudy's question in here real quick, and then we will get to our first reading. Always lots of great love questions are always great questions for tarot. Career, wealth, health. We cover just about everything. And if we don't, I'll let you know. So, okay. So let's get it going. So, Jessica, Crownest. Of course, Crownest. Well, for you, Jessica, since your username is Crownest, we will use the Crow Tarot deck right here. It's one of my favorite decks, and all of you regulars know you've seen this before. So, one of my favorites. Just a wonderful, wonderful tarot deck to read from. Okay, Jessica. Your immediate love life and the immediate future. What happened here? Sorry for the confusion. My graphic. Graphic is saying we are not taking readings. I apologize. Give me 1 second. We are working out a few kinks in the system here. Open readings. Okay. There we go. No. Hold on. There we go. That will be the correct one. There we go. Okay. I apologize. Okay, Jessica, your love life. What do the crows have to say about your love life in the crow's nest? Let's see. Ooh, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, let me bring you in a little bit closer. Let's see our cards a little bit better. Let's stand at the table. There we go. I think that's a little better. Oh, and then that's right in the shot. Okay, that's a little better. Alrighty, just so we're a little more zoomed in. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, the Moon. Oh, how very exciting. Well, and the Death card. Well, isn't that something? So, this is a very interesting layout for anything, but this is some very interesting cards regarding your romantic and love life. So, I sense here that you're entering your romantic life is entering a phase where it might be necessary to pull back from really seeking a lot of involvement with others right now. Even if you're not with anyone or don't have anything going on in your love life at the moment, I think this is a period for you to reflect and look more inward. The Wheel of Fortune here suggests that if you sort of put yourself out there more, that you're going to probably just sort of go through a string of relationships or bad dates or something like that. Um, sort of rebounding from one person to the next kind of thing. So that's never a fun thing to go through, and we kind of all go through that as human beings. But I think you can avoid some of that by taking some time and really looking inward and reflecting on yourself and what it is that you need in a relationship, really what makes a good partner for you, what makes you feel safe and honored, and the kind of person that you can be authentic with, and what that person may look like, not just physically, but in terms of their personality and how they behave and things like that. So I think there's a period of introspection for you. And if you haven't had much going on romantically, that might not be what you really want to hear, but I think a little more time is in order, and take some time to really, again, do that reflection, and some of that sort of inner work that we talk about. And you will kind of have an epiphany. And that's what the death card here really is. It's not that you'll just be lonely forever or anything like that, like the death of your love life, but it is sort of the ending of sort of your old self, with this new revelation, a new understanding of yourself and what you're looking for, and putting that out into the world, that new you. And that's really going to do a lot, and as far as bringing someone into your life who is a good fit for you, and the type of relationship that you really need, want, and deserve. So yeah, the universe is saying just hold back and take some time and look inward here, and it will come to you. So don't be too eager, go too crazy about putting yourself out there. And I hope that gives you some insight and inspiration to make some sense. Certainly, let me know in the chat, if it doesn't, or if it's spot on. I always love to hear feedback, good or bad. So thank you for that, Jessica. And let's see, we're moving on here. I'm going to add Courtney to the list. Courtney, you are on the list, so don't worry. And then we will get to our next reading. Okay, thank you, Jessica. We'll just update this. Okay, so moving on, we have Misty is up next. Can my son Bryce have a general reading, please? Okay, get that for Bryce. Welcome back, Annette. The video is not showing. Well, that might be on your end, Annette. As far as I know, Candy and others can see. But if you can hear me, then you can still get your reading. So also, this will be available. This whole thing will be available for replay on my channel. So certainly like, subscribe, ring the bell, as us YouTubers like to say. And you can always go back and watch it when you have some of your technical issues straightened out. But as far as I can tell, we are getting video to everybody. Well, Misty, this looks like your cards right here just flew right out of the deck. So let's see what we have. Some really interesting cards tonight. And this was for actually for your son, general reading for your son Bryce. Okay. So let's see. Your son Bryce has some very interesting things going on. We see the Devil card here. Again, nothing to panic about. So I sense that Bryce, and without really knowing Bryce's age, but it doesn't really matter too much. So I sense Bryce really stepping into a place of feeling both rich and strong too in body. So, that's all, that's also a form of wealth and riches really. is one's physical health. So I see Bryce moving into a place of feeling strong and vital and abundant as well. And with that, there is a bit of a caution, because when we are feeling well, obviously we want to take advantage of that. We get excited and passionate about things. We're invigorated. So Bryce has to be a little bit careful with that, because the devil is a tendency, just represents this tendency to maybe get carried away with the physical things, the material things in life. That can be all the different things that we can sort of fixate on that are more grounded, again, more in the material and physical realm. So that can become, certain types of obsessions, with, it could just be something as relatively harmless as like a video game or something like that. Or even more, sort of more toxic or harmful vices, and just really getting fixated on seeking sort of, again, like material pleasures of some kind. So with all of this vitality, this renewed sense of vitality, this sort of, again, this drive to go and do things, especially in a more physical sense, you could get a little carried away with that. So there's a little bit of caution there. But that doesn't mean to not enjoy this sort of abundance and this health. And with that will come sort of a new understanding, and maybe even this might turn into, like, a healthy outcome for this would be channeling this into a new activity or hobby, something that is somewhat constructive and creative and nurturing, beyond, like I said, just like, I don't know, playing video games, for example, or again, like any other number of things that we kind of just can lose ourselves in and become obsessed with. So I see a very good period of time here for Bryce coming up. Again, just kind of with that little looming caution of, like, don't get too wrapped up in sort of material pleasures, but seek new skills and hobbies and activities that are constructive and good. So that's a very encouraging thing for your son, Misty, and I hope that serves him well. So thank you for that question. And moving on, we have, let's see. And we got Panya came in. Oh, great. It's always good to see you, Panya. Thank you. Thank you for your question. You're about fourth in the list, which you'll see right here any moment. Okay. And next up is Fairy Tale. Let's see. Feelings and intentions of Amir. There is a connection, but he doesn't reveal. So Amir is being very cagey with you, I see. And totally understandable. In terms of us males, we can be kind of fickle creatures at times. Something we don't associate with masculinity as much, but let's see what's going on with Amir. Okay. Okay, what's up with Amir this week? Ooh, staying with the Crow deck. Okay. So Fairy Tale, this is your reading right now that I'm good, that I'm pulling for. Sorry if I'm a little behind with the chat, but I get better at it every week, I hope. Okay, what is going on with the mirror? Seven of Wands. That's interesting. Okay, so what I sense from Amir is that a lot of his closed offness doesn't have a lot to do with you directly. This has a lot more to do with other factors and forces in Amir's life, especially things around work or school or both, if it's working and in school. Um, and other sort of broader factors, again, just stuff that he's sort of preoccupied with, the things that he's sort of doing with his life and those sorts of things. And so that is sort of holding him up, and taking some of his attention and understanding of his feelings about you away. It's pulling him away from you in a sense. And so he has these intentions, and they are strong, very, they are very strong feelings towards you and very good feelings. And I think he has very strong intentions to be with you. Four of Wands here is this very celebratory sort of card. So there's a strong energy here. And again, we see the two crows also here in the Lovers. And so the Four of Wands is like a bonding. It can sometimes signify marriage. That might be something he is thinking about farther down the line. Like maybe there is potential for that in this. But it shows that he does have a strong intention towards you of really being with you. He's just very much distracted and held up on the other sort of parts of his life. And the Lovers suggest that this is meant to be, that this is a good bond. This is a good relationship for the two of you to be in. But I think it will take some time. It's going to take some time for this to come to fruition. And the best thing you can do is just continue to be supportive, be communicative. Don't harangue him. Give him some space to sort of sort himself out, but also don't be too distant. So it's a tricky balance. But Amir definitely has some strong feelings and intentions towards you. And I think this can really blossom for you as time goes on. But you're going to have to be patient. It's going to take him some time to come around. But I think some of these other factors in his life will start to clear up just as long as you are there for him and, continue to be a support, as much as he will sort of let you into your life right now. So I'm very hopeful for both of you for that. And I think it's a good future for the two of you. Okay. Let's see, Pena. All right, so moving on, we'll get Rudy Dog, and welcome for the first time to the channel, Rudy. It's great to have you here. Always happy to get new folks in here. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's see. Anything coming for your love life? Very, very, of course, very, very popular topic for tarot, especially this time of year. It's hard to imagine. It feels like weeks, like a month ago was Valentine's Day. It was just not even 2 weeks ago at this point, like a week ago. So time is just flying by. And try out this deck and see what we get. Let's see. Rudy's love life. What do we got? Of course, I am all Butterfingers today. Okay, Rudy. Oh, the Lovers again. Different deck of cards, too. Ooh, and Queen of Wands and the Magician. Very interesting. So I do see I do see some very positive things entering into your love life in the near future. The lovers here in your case really suggest that you are in a place and you are sort of ready um, to find that next person or to move your love life forward. So maybe you're in a relationship already, and if you are, then this is good omens for that relationship. And if you're not, then this is also good omens for someone new coming into your life. But you're in a place of sort of ready to be more receptive and open to to romance right now, and that is so key in finding good partners and having good relationships and good experiences romantically. Is you have to be in a place of receiving. You have to be open, sort of spiritually open-minded, open energetically. And what I see is, I think in the past, the Queen of Wands here maybe suggests sort of a type of person that you've attracted into your life, sort of in the past. There's sort of an archetype of person that you tend to meet and get involved with. And it is someone who is pretty strong-headed, someone who can be a bit stubborn maybe. And so maybe certainly the past, this hasn't really worked out all that well for you, but yet you seem to keep pulling these types of people into your life. So as you lean into being more open and receptive, and as you let sort of all of this come to you and not chase it too much and sort of chase other people, you're going to have more power and choice. And you're going to have the ability to really find someone who really is compatible and really fits you really well. And that's what the magician is about here. The magician is someone who is sort of creating the reality. They are the masters of their existence. And so they are able to manifest whatever it is that they need and desire, whatever is aligned with their soul's purpose in this lifetime. And so you are in a place where you might even have a few people come to you in a short period of time. You might have some choices to make, and you really want to look for someone who is maybe not so much in this sort of classic sort of archetype of person that you have found yourself with in the past. There's a lot of sort of fruitful ground there to understand, like, why do you keep getting attracted and attracting that sort of person, this sort of maybe more stubborn and sort of bullheaded person, who really maybe is kind of bossy and controlling. And understand that you're not stuck just bringing that in your life. You have the ability to attract the people that you want, the type of person that you really want. So be a bit choosy, be discerning as you start to put yourself out there more and bring more people into your life. And again, if you're in a relationship already, then this still sort of applies. And so I have a feeling that if you're in a relationship, the person that you're with is probably this sort of archetype, in which case it might be time to change your reality a bit and maybe consider moving on, because I think that is just not the right kind of person for you to be with. So I hope that makes some sense for you as well. And let me know if you have any clarification around that. I'll be happy to chime in. I want to welcome in DM Walker. You are now on the list. I will add you. We got DM in here. Thanks for coming in. And who else here got added recently? Let's see. And Tanisha, I believe. If I'm butchering your names, I apologize in advance and in real time. Well, let's get you all on the list. And we'll update our list. Okay, so next up we have Courtney Jean looking for a spirit-led reading. So some general advice from spirit and your guides. Welcome in Little Starseed Angel, and thank you for subscribing. And if you want like to request a free reading, just type !reading and your question in the chat. And my wonderful wife and moderator, Candy Hearts Art, will get you on our list. We have about 4 people in front of you right now. So again, this reading is for Courtney Jean. Spirit-led reading. What advice does Spirit have for you, Courtney? Let's find out. Seven of Cups. 10 of Cups. Ooh. Oh, all the cups for you, Courtney. So a lot of spirit and emotion in these cards here. The suit of cups is definitely the suit of sort of emotions, feelings, and also relationships of all kinds. 7 of Cups. So I think lately, either currently, very recent past, or happening this week or very soon, I think you're feeling a bit pulled in a lot of different directions. You have a lot of different sort of concerns and maybe worries about a lot of things in your life. And so this is really weighing you down a bit. And I sense that maybe you're feeling a bit, or you will have this feeling creep in of there's a certain apathy that comes with that, where you start questioning all the different parts of your life, sort of have this underlying uneasiness about things that can come in, this clouding. And you kind of start seeking for solutions and just sort of jumping from one thing to the next. One day it's this, I should try yoga. The next day it's no, it's my job is the problem, or it's this relationship, and you're kind of bouncing around, like not really feeling great about anything, but also feeling like there's no clear answer. So you're very much sort of in the clouds about this, just like the picture here suggests. So a lot of the answer to this is one, taking some time to spend time, sort of pull back from trying to solve all your problems. Give yourself a little break of like worrying about all this as best you can. I know that's not easy to just, oh, I'm not worried, but try to pull back from solving this. Understand that the solution will come to you at the right time. The universe will give you that solution. The more you sort of grasp at it, the longer it will take to find it. You have to kind of let go and surrender a bit to whatever's going on in your life. And so some of that surrender is spending time with the people who nourish you. Spend time with people that bring joy in your life. Friends, family, coworkers, whoever it is. We're all sort of different types of people. Some of us are more social than others, but there has to be at least some people in your life that you do derive a good bit of just joy and comfort from being around and spending time with, even if it's very casual. And take time with those people. I'm also getting a bit of a sense that maybe some of these people, or a specific person that you need to sort of spend this time with, is someone that you haven't spent time with. You've been maybe apart in some way, or you've just been busy, even if you're not geographically separated. But for whatever reason, you haven't had time to spend with this person. So it's probably someone, in that realm. So take that time for yourself, carve that time out, take time out of your schedule, whatever you've got going on. You need this for yourself. You need that refueling. And then as you come back from that, take a little time by yourself. Recharge a bit, get that sort of social recharge that you need, and then take some time for yourself and contemplate a bit about things. And don't, again, try to think about all the things that you're kind of trying to solve or sort out, but just try to take a little time in nature, and just sit and be and see what comes up, what sort of floats into your mind. Give yourself that space. And I think some of the inspiration for your next steps and some clarity will start to come to you through that. So that's where the universe is nudging you right now. And I hope that sort of helps you see your way through this time of uncertainty that is either close at hand or already starting to happen. So thank you very much for your question, Courtney. And we will move on. I will get some more folks onto the list. And we're going to add, let's see, a little starseed. Thank you for your question. We'll get you in the queue here. Give me one moment here. Let's see, we'll get starseed. And Zowie R2K, welcome into the chat. And we do have your question. You're the last on the list, about 5 in right now. You have your question about Heinrich. Great, and we will just. Okay, we'll update you guys. And up next, Panya, we have your question. Guidance for hearth, home, and garden. Love that. That's a great topic. You just put it so beautifully too. Such a kind of really sort of classic way to describe your sort of your domestic life, hearth, home, and garden. I really like that. It's very poetic. So thank you for that. And just want to thank everybody who's in here with their questions, everybody who has subscribed and liked this video. It's a great way to help support us. You can also donate, and the donation link is in the chat and pinned in the comment at the top of the chat as well. So thank you to anybody who has donated. Helps me keep going and show up here every week. And it's really nice to see a lot of familiar faces, even on a different day. So we will still be here Tuesday. That is the plan. But I got all excited about these new graphics for the channel, and so I just had to come on here and try them out. So, okay, Panya, hearth, home, and garden. Maybe one card for each of those, like for each thing. We'll see. So hearth, home, and garden. Well, your garden will be very celebrated this year. That I definitely see here in the Six of Wands. So what we've got is here's what I see going on with your sort of your domestic life, right? Because that's what we're really talking about. So first off, we have 5 of Wands, and so there's going to be some ongoing or project or something that's going to involve all the people in your household, probably mostly family that you're living with, but if you have roommates, then it's roommates or whatever it is. But in your domestic realm, in your fiefdom of home, hearth, and garden, there's going to be some coordinated activity or something that you're kind of trying to do that involves the group. And there's going to be a little bit of consternation around that. There's going to be some struggles with that. It's not going to be massive conflict. It's not going to be massive drama. But the 5 of Wands is this idea of kind of too many people all trying to do the same thing and not being very coordinated. And if we look at the card, we see all these people with these sticks, with these wands, and they're all kind of like tangled up in each other. They're not really fighting, but they're not coordinated. You could say that they're trying to pitch a tent and failing horribly at it. And so this demonstrates a need to you to set some order to things. And it's going to be on you to coordinate and organize whatever's going on in your household a little more. And that's not to say that you don't already do a great job of that, but there's just some area where I think people need a little more guidance and organization. So just be looking out for that. Also, there is a call to be mindful about how much you're giving of yourself. And so this tells me that you are someone who is fairly giving, quite giving of yourself. And sometimes you can get too wrapped up in that And you have to learn a little bit of discernment. We'll use a little bit of judgment and maybe pull back here and there about how much you're putting yourself out there, how much you're giving of yourself. And that's not to say that you shouldn't help others and help people. But again, you might have to delegate a little more. And so I think that goes hand in hand with sort of this sort of cluster of a task here, this sort of confusion going on with the others. So you're going to have to take a little time and really think carefully about what you're doing for whom and how you're devoting your time and energy to things. And maybe pull back a little bit, actually, like kind of get everyone organized on the right path and then step back from it and let them handle things. Once you kind of get them moving in the right direction, I think they just need the organizational piece. They need a little bit of direction. And then you don't need to be as directly involved. And so that'll be a nice thing for you too, because that gives you a little bit of time and energy back to yourself. And the final result, again, is sort of this celebratory thing. The folks in your household, in your sphere, your domestic sphere, will be very grateful for this, because they'll be able to do this thing that they're trying to do. They'll be very happy with it, and they will look at you in a even more grateful and happy, positive way. They're not going to get mad at you for not being as involved. So yeah, a little bit of strong advice for your household this week. So thank you for your question, and let's move along. We have about 4 more in the queue. We're about 45 minutes in. Not bad. Again, thank you everyone for showing up. We'll just keep updating. And DM Walker, you're going to be next, and you're asking for a general reading. Okay, DM, you're up. Welcome in, Lauren. Yes, you can absolutely request a reading. Just type !reading followed by your question in the chat. And Candy Hearts Art, my moderator and wonderful wife, will add you to the list. That would put you about 5th on the list. Readings are free. We do ask that you like this video and subscribe to the channel to help support us. And if you're able to or like to, you can also leave a donation, and that link for donations is in the chat as well. But everything helps. Just a like or a subscribe is huge for us. It helps us build, helps YouTube get the word out about us. And I say us because, like I said, my Candy Hearts Art, my wonderful wife, really is half of this whole operation. So cards everywhere today. Okay, DM, sorry, we have a general reading for you. Okay. General reading for DM Walker. Queen of Cups, the Sun, Queen of Pentacles. So there's all this sort of feminine queen energy here in this reading. Followed by this very masculine Sun card. Very interesting. So what I see going on with you, DM, is so there are some female influences in your life, some female figures in your life. They may not be, and their relationship to you could be any kind of relationship. Some of them might be family. One of these people might be a friend, maybe a lover. I'm not sure exactly, but you sort of have some competing feminine influences in your life. So this really feels like maybe you have a friend or a love interest and then maybe a family member kind of talking in each ear. One's telling you one thing and the other's telling you the opposite. So they're trying to give you some advice and steer you in a certain direction and influence you. And that's not to vilify any of them. I think they're all coming from a place of good intentions and a place of care and love. Um, and so they mean well. So don't get too angry about that. But it can be difficult when you've got people, whose opinions you value for whatever reason, sort of pulling you in these opposite directions. So you have one of these people, one of these women, sort of leaning more of like follow your gut, follow your instinct, really more concerned about the emotional side of whatever this issue or thing is. And then you have the other woman being more concerned with like physical practicality, the Queen of Pentacles. So that's more like money and material things. And so there's this sort of conflicting advice and influence. And you're in some ways maybe getting caught between the two of them a little bit. And so the sun here is so very important because what the sun represents is your true higher self. It is your divine self. And it is the part of you that you need to show to the world. It is your authentic purpose in this lifetime. And that's what you really need to listen to and follow. And I sense that that might be a path, the path that you should follow in this might be sort of not the thing that either of them is trying to tell you what to do. There's like a third path in this that's yours. And you need to walk that path. And you're going to have to create a little bit of some boundaries with these other two people about what you're doing and where you're going with this. And hopefully, and because I think they mean well, I think they do mean well for you. They don't have ill intentions, but we often have good intentions and still give bad advice or make bad decisions. And so they're pulling you all over the place. There's a third way. There's a way that's not either of their ideas. You need to really find that for yourself and then stick with it and create those boundaries with these people and be like, and you can do it. There's ways to go about that in a kind manner. But, you really have to put that down and say, thank you. I appreciate your concern. I'll consider what you said, but what you're saying, how you think I should do this, but this is what I need to do. I need to make these decisions for myself, and this is how we're going. So maybe not the most fun thing to hear, but I think you've got some good advice there to be able to deal with that if you can see it coming. So I hope that clicks. And again, DM, thank you for coming in tonight and for your question. Okay, we will update here. So Priscilla, we've got a career reading. You will be 5th in line. And 6th in line will be Lauren with a love reading. And DM, you're all set. Okay, so we'll update. Okay, who we got? So that was DM. So Tanisha, again, I hope I'm getting your name right. Guidance for finances. Okay, we're going to change up cards a little bit here. Oh, welcome in Grandma's Crochet Corners. Great to see you tonight. Thanks for showing up. Thank you. Thank you, Barb. It's always good to see familiar faces and new ones. So. Oh, and also thank you for compliments on the new setup. I like playing around with tech, so I thought it would just sort of help things go a little smoother. Okay, Tanisha, guidance for your finances. Let's see what the... Okay, let's see what's going on with your finances. The world, or the eon, or aeon. Eon, yes. Ooh, and some pentacles or discs here. Um, so, hmm. Okay, Tanisha. So this bodes very well for your financial future. First of all, the universe and the aeon, the eon, or the is essentially the world or the universe card. This deck is a little bit different than more traditional tarot, but I really like it. Um, this is a card of the universe saying, "Hey, look, I'm here to provide everything that you need, want, desire. It's all there. It's all the orders have been placed. It's just it's it's not all going to just show up instantaneously. The first moment you're like, hey, I want this, I need this. But if you put that intention out there, and you are open and receptive to what the universe has to bring to you, it will deliver. You will get the things you need and want. And so your financial situation is going to improve and become more abundant, more stable. It is on its way. The universe is saying you have to surrender a little bit. Um, go with the flow a bit. Don't get too try not to get too stressed out about bills and finances in your bank account. Um, easier said than done, but when you have a bill to pay, try not to get too disgruntled about it. It's no fun paying bills, paying taxes, and things like that. But um, there is a place of sort of gratitude there. Like when Candy and I have gone through a lot of this. We've lived pretty close to the edge of of poverty. For a lot of years of our lives, I struggled to work and hold down a job and things, and so and every little bill, every little dollar is just like, oh God, like what, we're not going to make it. And yeah, I mean, things are tough for everyone right now, some of us more than others. But one thing that we've started to get better with, and it's helped us a lot, is, we have to pay that bill. Yeah, we may have to scramble. It's stressful to come up with that money, but we managed to do it. And we try to take a moment and be grateful that we were able to do so. I don't want to have to pay $75 for my lights this month. I'd rather have that $75, but at the end of the day, I'm really happy to have lights. I'm grateful to have an internet bill to pay so that I have internet so that we can do this together, and I can read cards for all of you. So you just have to find those little things. And the more you do that, the more abundance will show up. And so the more you lean into that, you're going to see some new opportunities coming. Some very good the beginnings of new streams of income and wealth and finance and riches to you. And that's the Ace of Discs, or pentacles, or coins. It is the beginning of new wealth and riches in your life. And then the Prince of Discs suggests also, again, another money card here. Again, the idea of these new sources of money and stuff, new riches for you. And this may come to you through this new source is something that's going to come to you through an opportunity, and will come to you from something kind of new, and maybe something you hadn't really thought of, something novel. If you're sitting here today, if I said, if you're going to sit here like, I got to figure out how to make X amount of money, or how to make more money, there's probably 5 or 6 different things you'd think of. Well, I could get a better job, I could change career, whatever it is. This is going to be something a little different. It's going to be something a little new, something you might not have thought of. So again, you need to be sort of open and receptive so you don't miss this opportunity. If you're so fixated on your finances and worrying about them, this might pass you right by. So try to work on that sort of gratitude piece of it, and the world will show you, the universe will show you this new thing. And it's going to do some really great things for you. So things are looking up very much for you. Just try to breathe deep and not get too, frustrated and stressed out, because it is. I mean, I totally understand. We all get pretty, money's always a big stress in our lives. So I hope that gives you some hope and inspiration going forward in the next while. So. Thank you for that. Okay, and we're going to do one more. We're going to do little star seeds reading, and then I'm going to take a 10-minute break, and then we will get to everyone else on the list and anyone else who shows up after that. But I will need a few minutes. So, little star seed angels. Is any positive transformation coming my way soon because I'm suffering stagnation? Okay. Well, a very common pattern for all of us in our lives, and a very frustrating one. So, thank you, Tanisha. Thank you for that compliment. Yes, little star seed. We're gonna find out what's got you so stuck and stagnant right now. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I swear I shuffled. It's always interesting to me when we start getting some of the same cards for each reading. So a similar theme here for you, little star seed. The Aeon or World card, again, is the universe saying the world is at your disposal. You have the power to essentially seek out and create whatever it is you want in your world. And in your case, a lot of the stagnation, what's holding you back from that, is something quite internal. It often is for people. So the High Priestess is a call here for you to do some inner work, to be more take some time and be more reflective on yourself and your life. And I'll give you a little bit of guidance in that direction, a little bit of coaching, if you will. Sit down at some point, take some time, get yourself a little bit of space and quiet as best you can, and give yourself 15 minutes, grab a notebook or something. I recommend doing this with pen and paper. The phone is so distracting when you type stuff in it, or a computer. But take a little time and just think, and allow yourself to really imagine like what it is that you really want for yourself right now and in your future. Do you want a better job or a better career? Do you want a different relationship? Do you want to make changes in your health and your appearance? Whatever it is, just list these things out and then really sit with that when you think about like, okay, I'd like to say for example, you decide like, well, I'd really like to find a new job. I want to find a better job. And sit with like, okay, when I think about looking for a new job or finding a new job, and I try to imagine what that would look like and what that should be, like, what do you really feel? Do you get kind of held back or choked up? Really just focus on the feelings in your body, your emotions and physiological sensations, and what comes up with these things, and kind of write that down. Because if any part of it feels like, if you feel any tension when you're thinking about a new job, finding a new job, finding a better job, then that's resistance. And so there's a deeper thing there that is actually creating that resistance. There's some sort of belief about yourself or your worthiness. I'm just using the job as an example. That comes from earlier in your life, often comes from childhood. So there's some deeper beliefs there that you may not be fully aware of. And so spend a little time sort of journaling that. And that's going to help get things moving. And also don't be afraid to feel those things. So if you feel, again, the idea of taking action and moving forward in your life is making you feel tense or sad or anything that's not, a good emotion, not just like joy and wonder, that's okay. You need to be with that and allow yourself to feel it. If thinking about making a change in your life makes you want to cry, give yourself that space to cry, because just letting that emotion out is a lot of what's going to help you move forward. And that's what the Fool is saying here. The Fool is someone who doesn't have any burdens. They carry no baggage in life. They don't have the limiting beliefs that they were taught from childhood or in their younger life or from other traumatic and difficult experiences in their past. The fool has shed and let go of all of that and is just going out into the world free. And that's the freedom that you're seeking. And so that is the core sort of what is where you're sort of getting stuck. So you have to take some time and explore that, and don't rush it. And don't worry about deciding what the next thing is necessarily, but really get right with like how you feel about making changes in your life and what those things could possibly be coming from. That's going to get things to start to move a bit. I think you have some energy and some stuck energy and stuck emotional blockage that you need to get moving, and that's going to bring some stuff up. And feel free to reach out to me, as those things come up. You can contact me through my website or email. All those links are in my channel description and here in YouTube. You can always just message me directly as well. So don't hesitate to reach out, personally. If you don't want to do it in a public forum, I understand. But if you run into some resistance or problem, please let me know. So I hope that gives you some movement, little starseed. You're welcome. Okay, so we still have, starseed. Yep. So I'm going to go on my break. We're going to take about 10 minutes. And when I get back, we have Zowie, Priscilla, and Lauren on the list, and maybe some more people will come in. So stick around, and thank you all very much again. I'll be back very shortly. Alrighty, that was a nice break, and I'm back. And thank you everyone for waiting. Just gonna take a moment here and clear some energy, and then I will get right to Zowie's reading, followed by Priscilla and then Lauren. Realized that I was looking at the stream on my cell phone, and I realized that on the phone you probably can't read the little list of upcoming readings, but I have you three, and we'll just go from there. Maybe we'll get some more folks. So thank you all again for being here. I'm so grateful to have you all here tonight, especially on sort of an impromptu Sunday evening. I'm playing around with some different times to do these. I do kind of like my Tuesday, but it can be a little hectic for me as well Tuesdays. So, okay. Zowie R2K. What does Henrik currently feel for me? Okay. Let's see what is going on with Henrik. Okay, what is going on with Henrik? There we go. Some viewers have just come back, so I'll give everyone maybe another moment or so just to get back in. But we are reading for Zowie. And I will post this on the channel as well. So if you did miss your reading, you can go back and watch it after the fact, which is always nice to do, or if you just want to go review it later on. Okay, I think I'm going to assume Zowie is in here. We're going to proceed forward. What does Henrik currently feel about you, Zowie? A great name, by the way. Okay. The magician. The magician showing up. Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. So, Henrik's got some things going on. There's a few things going on with Henrik and Henrik's feelings towards you. So, Henrik is somebody who does have a good bit of concern about what others think. And a lot of Henrik's decision making in life, Henrik really weighs other people's opinions in a big way, in their choices about life, partners, whatever it is. So that's the first thing. And I can't really say much about what those people necessarily think about you, or whether they think that, like friends or other people in Henrik's life, what they think about you or a relationship, this relationship with you, or potential relationship if you're not in one with him right now. But Henrik definitely has some strong and powerful feelings. Knight of Wands here is very fiery, sort of passionate feelings. And the galloping horse, the fire horse, if you will. So Henrik is definitely a big part of Henrik wants to kind of come charging into your life. And if you're kind of already involved or already interact on some level, he wants that to go further. And so that's a good thing. In terms of like, if he's someone that you actually want to be or spend time with, he has a strong pull towards you and wants to be more of a part of your life and be more involved with you than he is already. And I sense that in the long term, the outcome of this is he will advance that. He will actually take action to make that happen. But he's a little hung up on approval of others. And the magician is telling me that he is someone who ultimately, despite having a lot of concern about what other people think, and valuing others' opinions, he is someone who ultimately will choose things for himself. So it might, again, take a little bit of time but he will he's going to move forward, and want to advance things, and make things move forward with you in some way. He does have a very strong sort of passion and interest in you, so that's there. Again, it may take a little time to come through. um, I know this comes up with, it's kind of all in all love readings, there is sort of a theme of patience, because especially when it comes to romance and love, we just it's we all want that validation. So it's not easy, and especially the younger you are, just patience is something that comes with age. I can tell you from my own experience. So be a little bit patient, but I think he's going to be propelled towards you in a big way. He has some very strong feelings for you. um, so thanks for coming back in, Annette. And yeah, we will definitely get your reading at the bottom of the list. I only have a couple more people right now, so you'll be like third in line. And Candy Hearts Art, my wonderful moderator and wife, she will be happy to get you in the list. So we will update for now. And we will move on to Priscilla, who wants a career reading. So thank you for your request, Priscilla. We're going to pull your cards right up here next, as soon as I get Annette's on the list here. Okay, great. Okay, Priscilla, I hope you've made it back in. If not, I hope you're watching this on a replay at some point in the near future. Time is elastic, so this reading will apply to you even if you end up watching it like a month, a month after this live. Oh, there you are. Okay, great. And welcome in Sanja. We will get you on the list as well. Okay, again, back to Priscilla's career. What is going on with Priscilla's career? The Knight of Swords, Temperance, and Four of Cups. So Knight of Swords suggests that there's going to be some kind of major sort of shakeup with your career. This looks like, I have a strong sense that this looks like a new boss or manager entering into your situation. So if you already have a, if you're currently working or established in a place of work, there's going to be a change up in what's going on with your boss. There's going to be a new person who has some say over your job, some influence, sort of come charging in. They are going to be kind of brash and bold. They're going to shake things up. And if you're not currently employed, then this looks like your next job opportunity showing up in kind of a big, bold way. Now, that can be a very uncomfortable thing, especially if you're established in your current job, you're established in your career. We enjoy that sort of normalcy of things, and to shake everything up, especially if things are going at least somewhat well, that really can throw us. And so it's easy to react to that and say that that's not it's a bad thing. It's a negative thing. But Temperance here is here to tell you that you don't have to necessarily take it that way. Now, this new boss or employer, again, might rub you the wrong way a bit, might throw you off, but there's a transformation here to be had. the lesson here is to pull back a bit and detach yourself from it. Don't allow yourself to get too wrapped up in this change. Kind of wait it out a bit, reserve judgment. Sort of wait and see how it pans out, because again, this is going to come charging in. This person's going to come charging into your career in a way. But it doesn't mean that they're all bad. They just might, again, have a very sort of harsh or abrupt way of dealing with things. So 4 of Cups is your resolution here. There's a transformation here to be had. This shakeup is going to bring you to some new realizations about your job and career and what you're doing with yourself. Let's see. Okay. I'm an actress, always looking for something. At the moment, no news. Okay. So yeah, that definitely looks like a new opportunity sort of crashing in. And it's the kind of opportunity that at first, again, may not look so great. It might be so tumultuous and chaotic that you're like, well, how this can't be a good thing. Don't just dismiss it at first. Take some time and reflect on it. You don't have to jump right into it, but give it a little bit of time, think it over, and really reflect on what this is once it shows up. So it looks like there will be some opportunity, some news coming in. It may not seem good at first, but if you really let it sit with it and think it over, you might find that it is a better thing than it seemed to be at first. So that's what I see going on in the next. It won't be just this week. It might be a few week. It might be a week or 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more. I'm thinking right around beginning of March, this thing is going to show up, and it's going to take some time to develop and for you to get right with it. So, yeah. So thank you for that, Priscilla. Okay. Oh, and the list is growing again. This is wonderful. So we've added a few folks. We got Annette on here, and Sanja is like 4th in line. Let's see. Okay, and M, we got you 5th. Emily. Great, great. Kind of catching our second win here tonight. I love it. Okay, Emily. Alrighty, so moving on to Lauren, looking for a look at love. Great, great. We do love our love readings. I think that might be one of your cards, Lauren, right there. So Emily, you will be after Lauren. I have 2 others, and then it'll be you. So. So it won't be long. We will definitely get to everyone that's in the queue tonight. Okay, a couple more cards for you, Lauren, and your love life. A lot of lovely L words. We love alliteration here in our home. Okay, the fly out. Ooh, the 7 of Cups. Haven't seen that tonight. That's cool. King of Pentacles. And 4 of Swords. Very interesting. So the main card in this is the King of Pentacles. So this represents either a current, although I think it's more of a potential, like a future person in your life, a future lover, someone who is grounded and stable, um, and is also quite wise and really has their act together. And I see this as really the person that you are meant to be with. I think this is someone in your future that is coming to you. And I sense that they're fairly far in your future. So again, there's the element of patience here, and that comes out of the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is like a call for rest and reflection. We have a lot of these types of cards. A lot of the fours in tarot are about that. And so this is kind of the person you're meant to be with at some point. It really is like your soulmate. And the question becomes like, what do you do or not do to attract them, to lead them to you, to allow them into your life? Because so much of creating or finding the things that we want, whether it's a partner or wealth or transforming our health, really boils down to making ourselves to a receptacle and being open and receptive to it. And so you're going to achieve that not by sort of chasing around a bunch of people trying to find this person, but by letting them come to you and not getting too crazy going out and getting involved with a new person every other week or whatever. And that's not to say that that's what you have been doing or you do that all the time, but that sort of like trying too hard kind of thing really can screw up your ability to manifest this great person in your life. And as you're doing that, as you're sort of letting it rest, there's a blockage here. There's something that you need to let go of from your past. So there is some thing that there's a deep belief, a subconscious belief about yourself, about your worthiness of love and your worthiness of having a great partner in your life, or even just that there is a good person out there for you. You have some deeply seated beliefs that you're not worthy of that you can't find that. And so you need to do a little bit of exploration here of like, where did you really learn that? What are some of your earliest experiences? Again, so many of these things go back to like your teenage years, adolescence, or even childhood. Relationships with family often form a lot of how we approach relationships in love, in our romantic partners. So there's some reflection there, which can be difficult. And, sometimes it is, it's not always fun. It can be a bit painful. But, like what kind of example did your parents set for you in terms of like what a relationship looks like? Or maybe they weren't together. And so, again, like what kind of example was that for you in your life? And other family members and other people who influenced you when you were young. We're going to have to kind of go back and revisit some of that. And it's going to take a little time because that's not always an easy or comfortable thing to do. So you kind of have to lean into it a bit. Things will come up. It will be hard. You kind of have to step back from it for a little bit and let it percolate and sort of work through you and then go back to it again. And there's a bit of a back and forth here. And that's why there's going to be a good chunk of time for this person to come to you. But someone really great is coming to you, like the person you're really meant to be with, who's really going to make your life good and happy. Like they're out there and they're coming. So you need to hold out for them. don't just end up with whoever the next person is just because they're there, kind of thing. That sort of loneliness is again sort of an opportunity to explore, like, what does that really bring up? What beliefs do you have about yourself? Self-love. It's very cliche, but it's very true. So I hope that gives you some guidance and inspiration around your love life. So thank you for that, Lauren. And we will get everything updated. Oh, well, thank you, Annette. That's very kind of you. Okay, so and you are actually up next, Annette. Okay, I'd like to think I am. I try to bring a calming energy to everything, but sometimes I get tongue tied. So, um, oh, and thank you for a subscription, Emily. That is so helpful. Just as helpful as, and just I'm just as grateful for that as any monetary donation. I realize the economy in the world is just crazy and tough for everyone right now. So we appreciate a like, a subscription, anything is just so helpful. So thank you for that. Okay, Annette, general reading. I love general readings. And then after that, we have Sanja and Emily, and that's all we have in the queue for the moment. So, okay, Annette, what does Spirit have for you for guidance today? Ooh, Six of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Ooh, all the wands. Okay. So with all of these wands, the suit of wands is very much the suit often about things like our career, our jobs, other endeavors in our lives that are creative and purposeful. So not just watching TV, watching Netflix, or just sitting around and doom scrolling, but the things that you do that really sort of define a lot of your purpose and have real intention behind them. And that's what the wand signifies, the element of fire. So that spark of creation, and that divine essence that flows through us and then becomes manifest in our world. So for you, this is about career and job. So one, there is a message here that you are quite celebrated. Your coworkers, or say, maybe you're a freelancer or something. So clients, but whoever you're working for and whatever that looks like, they think very highly of you. You have a lot of people in your sort of professional life who speak very highly of you, who see you as very capable and confident. And I think you need a little bit of reassurance of that right now. Maybe you're doubting yourself a little bit. So this is the message that you really need from the universe. And that is always a great thing to hear, because it's there. It's very genuine. The compliments you get from people are very genuine. They're not just sort of blowing smoke up your butt. They really believe that. And so that's a call for you to step more into greater leadership. I think there's that strong, the Queen of Wands is this strong sort of organizational energy. And yet it is strong leadership, but it comes from a sense of understanding others. So you're leading through this, through a very strong connection with the people around you. It isn't just giving orders and looking at everything in a very practical sense. You have a good understanding of what makes people tick, especially the people around that you're working with. And that is a lot of where your capacity to lead and get the best out of them comes from. And this is a call for you to step more into that. And so that might look like you finding a role of greater leadership, and yes, more responsibility to an extent, but you're definitely ready for it. And I think that opportunity might come from somewhere else. That's the Two of Wands here. That is the sense of this figure has these two wands. So he's holding on to this one wand. He kind of has like this little like glass sphere. It's like a little glass globe in his hand, and he's looking out into the world. And then there's this other staff here sort of behind him. And so this is like the established thing. And now this person is looking out to the next thing, looking out onto the horizon, into the world. What can I reach out for next? And so I think you're being pulled a bit to start considering and looking for a new position that involves a greater role of leadership and responsibility. And with that, of course, will come greater compensation and probably a little more joy and fulfillment in your job as well. If you're currently not working, then this is the kind of role you need to be looking for, and maybe you haven't been looking for that as much. So that's where you would go with that. But if you are currently employed, it might be time to entertain this idea of moving on to something a little bit. You're ready for something more. So start allowing yourself to marinate with that idea and think about where you might find that and start putting some feelers out there. So thank you very much, Annette, for that. Okay, Sanja, I know it's not on the lit, like your question isn't written on the screen there, but I do have it. And you are up next. So, Sanja, you want to know who or what comes for me in love? Well, of course. Don't we all? Oh, and Cooley Bra, we got you too. I just didn't get you on screen in the list yet, but we definitely have you in the queue. So let's see, Annette. I'm in admissions department at favorite school. They asked you to join a new program. Okay, well, maybe that's the new thing, you know. And there might be a little more leadership involved with that, but certainly something to mull over. So thank you for the feedback, Annette. We always really appreciate that as well. Okay, Sanja, who or what comes for you in love? Okay, and anxiously dramatic, thank you for coming in tonight. We can get you in the queue. In fact, I think you will be fourth in line and you will probably be the last person in the queue. So congratulations, you'll be the last reading for the night. As by the time I get through the next four, I'll probably be out of steam. So we will add you in, and then yeah, we will close that off. So okay, Sanja, who or what is coming for you in your love life? Well, let's find out. Page of Swords. Ooh. The Wheel of Fortune and the High Priestess. Had a lot of the sort of introspective love life type patterns here tonight with a lot of people. So, Page of Swords, I see somebody entering your love life that really challenges some ideas that you have about, not just about love, but about sort of your worldview, you know, your life, your principles, your values in life. And in an exciting way, you know, not like, oh, there's something wrong with me, I need to change how I think, but like, I don't know, there's just like this fresh, airy sort of thing. This is someone who's maybe going to talk to you in a way, has a style of communicating with you that is different and again, kind of refreshing that you really enjoy. Really like a fresh face in your life is going to allow you to feel very invigorated. And so I think there is this like new exciting person entering your life, entering your love life. And Wheel of Fortune says that will be, is exactly the person that you need to be with right now. It's hard to say for certain whether this is the partner, you know, for the rest of your life that you're supposed to be with, or like the right person for you forever, but they certainly are going to be the right person for you now. And I don't just mean like a day, but for the next year, 2 years, I don't know exactly, but you're definitely going to be with this person for a while, and it's going to be a really good thing. And out of that, you're going to, without really trying or doing a lot of like inner work, you're going to come to some realizations about yourself. I mean, I think kind of your, you know, again, you're going to have this person who's like kind of treating you a little differently in a way that you're not used to being treated, talking to you in ways that you're not used to being spoken to, in ways in which you're not used, people sort of communicating and influencing you, but all in like really fun, exciting, and like good ways, um, and in ways that you deserve to be treated. And I think it's going to cause you to really realize that maybe you don't give yourself enough credit. I think that's what the high priest is. That's sort of the inner knowledge to be revealed here. It's going to boost your confidence and your self-esteem. And so I see this new and very healthy relationship entering your life. And because it's such a wonderful thing, there's not much else to say about it, really. It's just like a really refreshing thing. So just be on the lookout for that and don't run away from it. Sometimes like the new thing, even when it feels good, that even things that seem good to us can be a little scary. So don't give in to that, just go with it, allow it to be, and let this person enter your life. And I think you're going to have a really fun and exciting relationship with them. So thank you for your question, Sanja. Let me get anxiously on here, just so there's no confusion about readings. And yep, so we just have these 3 more, and that will conclude for the evening. Again, thank you everyone for subscribing, liking the video, sending donations, and just showing up. It's so helpful and gives me just so much like energy and excitement about this. So love doing this. Our usual regular night right now is generally Tuesday evenings, 7 p.m. Mountain time here in the U.S., Denver time, U.S. I will probably be adding some other times as well, but we're kind of playing around with that still. So okay, Emily, will me and Isabella stay friends? Okay, we haven't really had a friendship reading, so that's fun. You're welcome, Sanja. Okay. Ooh, Ace of Wands. Well, that seems appropriate. Let's see, what else? An Ace of Pentacles. All the aces. Oh, wow. Oh, this is cool. So you and Isabella are friends. You're wondering how long you'll stay friends for. And just the fact that you're asking about this suggests to me that maybe there's been a little bump in your friendship. Maybe not like a hugely dramatic thing or like you got in a big fight, but maybe just some little things have crept in and you're just like, oh, I don't know, maybe she doesn't, think as highly of me as I thought or something like that. There's been some little hiccup or, maybe it is a big thing that's happened, but what we see here with these aces and all of this is like, I see this friendship continuing and evolving. The Ace of Wands suggests that there's some new things that are going to enter into the friendship. So this friendship is going to evolve. I think there will be these if you haven't really experienced sort of this hiccup, that might be coming. You might have a little bit of a hiccup, and maybe that's really what this 7 of Swords is about. It's like, here this person has all these swords and they should be happy they've got all this stuff, but there are these 2 swords left behind and they're looking over their shoulder like, oh, what did I leave behind? What did I forget? Did I drop these things? Am I trying to take too much, kind of thing? Sort of questioning the good thing that they already have, and like this feeling of like something's going to go wrong. So that suggests that either you're worried about this little hiccup between you, and it might not even be a real problem. It might just be you're worrying about this thing that you think might happen. And maybe because you had other friendships that seemed really good and then all of a sudden they just fell apart. Either way, whether it is a real sort of issue between the 2 of you or just sort of general worry about it, this friendship is going to evolve and become an even greater and stronger friendship. So Ace of Wands in this case isn't really about your career or job, but it's really about like, I think the two of you at some point are going to kind of find a new, maybe like hobby or activity or just something you really like doing together, that you hadn't been doing together before. And that's something that's going to strengthen this friendship. And somehow, I can't say exactly how, but you're going to sort of discover some new, like I said, hobby or activity, or just like a new, like a show that you both all of a sudden you're like, hey, we love watching this show, or whatever it is, just something you do together, that's new to the both of you. And it may seem like a fairly small thing, like again, just like enjoying a certain, show on Netflix or something, but it's going to be it's going to be the beginnings of a stronger bond. And I think that will grow into an even stronger bond that goes beyond just more superficial things like we have this new interest or a new hobby together, but a real strong sense of friendship and greater trust. And so Ace of Pentacles here is like that trust is growing to the point where like you trust each other with not just maybe like some of your deepest feelings, but also things that are like finance, or I trust this person, really like besties, like you kind of trust them with everything. So I see this evolving, into an even better friendship, but I think there's going to be a little bit of ups and downs, and then you'll come out of that, again, like much better friends. So I hope that sort of hits home for you. And please keep me up to date in the future and let me know, whether that sort of pans out or not. I always love to get feedback, even if it turns out I was completely wrong. I want to know that too, because I want to do the best for all of you. So take that with some good cheer. And yeah, thank you for that, Emily. Um, I gotta unmute the mic. Okay. Kulibra, will I be working as an adjuster? And then after you, we have Anxiously Dramatic. Will be our last reading of the night. So. Oh, and we did not actually update this. Okay. There we go. Now we have the right things. Okay. All right. Okay, Coolie Bra. Working as an adjuster or something else. We have the Chariot. I have not seen the Chariot tonight on the Page of Wands. That's kind of interesting. This is very interesting. So, you'll be working as an adjuster this year or something else. So, the quick and dirty answer to this is I sense that you're going to move into something new sometime this year. It won't be real soon, but it's not going to be outside of like this company that you're already working for as an adjuster, or at least outside of your industry, even if it ends up being a new company. So there is a new opportunity here for you. You have a lot of momentum in your career, in what you're doing. The Chariot is this powerful, sort of unstoppable force. And it can move pretty quickly. But even when it's going slow, it's quite heavy and forceful and powerful, and will just knock obstacles out of the way. So you're sort of in this track. You're an adjuster in this industry. I'm going to guess it's like insurance, like claims adjuster is kind of just where my mind goes. But whatever the industry is, you have this job as an adjuster, and you have a lot of momentum in it. And so you're actually going to progress. And I sense that there is some position that is a step farther along from adjuster, that again is in this industry, is using the skills that you have and the experience that you have already gathered and learned and brought forth in this thing. But you're going to get this new opportunity to do something a little bit beyond this role of adjuster. So maybe it's like, I don't know, like, is there a senior adjuster position or something advanced beyond your current position? It's going to bring you a bit more money, a little more prestige, look a little better on your resume, but it will be doing the same kind of work, just with a bit more responsibility, and again, with more reward for that as well. So that's what I see going on with your career and this job as an adjuster, is you won't still be in this position, but you will kind of advance past this sometime this year. And it's going to be a really good thing for you. So I hope that that helps you out. And I'm just looking at the chat. So I'll be happy to just answer a couple of like not actual tarot readings, Panya, because I love talking about tarot. Once we get through the readings, I'll be happy to sort of address a few of those things, because I teach tarot and all that. So we will do a little bit of that right afterwards. Okay, and last reading for the night, Anxiously Dramatic. You're up. I'm glad, Cooley Bra. That's great. Anxiously Dramatic. What is your general advice from Spirit? Let us see. Okay. Yeah, I saw it in the chat, so. Okay, general last reading. Okay. Anxiously Dramatic. Ooh, the Fool. Always one of my favorite cards. Five of coins. And 7 of coins. Okay. Well, it's a very strong message, Anxiously Dramatic, that I'm getting from this. And it's fairly general. It's more about sort of wealth and finance and physical prosperity, financial prosperity, but also your health and all the riches of life. There's the Fool is just screaming at us here, though. It's the Fool is saying, like, go, do. I sense that you've been very you can get very held back, and sort of like tightened up. Like there's things you want to do in life. There's you want to expand your horizons. You want to do more, experience more things, whatever it may be. But you have a lot of internalized like doubt and things holding you back. And the Fool is just like screaming, like just you just it's letting all that go. It's just saying enough is enough. I'm the kind of person who through a lot of my younger life, in my 20s and even in my 30s, um, I missed out on a lot of opportunities. Not just like necessarily job opportunities, but all kinds of life experiences and things. Because I just got so wrapped up in like fear and anxiety of the unknown. And we all have that as human beings, but some of us really get like it becomes a cage for some of us. It really does. And so the universe is telling you, like, I got your back. You know, you have the freedom and safety to take a leap in your life. And that's the five of coins or pentacles here represents that fear, this fear of being out in the cold, you know, of losing everything essentially. And that's unfounded. That is a untrue belief. Um, it is a fear. Some people say fear is an acronym. Uh, false evidence appearing real. I like that one. I don't know who first said it, but I've heard a number of people in our community in this niche say that, and it's very true. The mind very easily will make up reasons to not do things, you know, and sort of fear takes us over. So you're having this huge pull to like take a big leap in your life, um, do something bold, and just throw yourself into it. And the seven of coins here is a reminder that you have put into place enough in your life to do this. You will not end up in the cold. You know, you have planted the seeds of prosperity and stability and wealth in your life. You may not see all of the fruits of that quite yet. They're still coming in and still coming into harvest, but you are in a position to be able to make a big, bold leap in your life. And it may not go exactly as you expect it to or hope, but it will still be a great thing for you, and you will land on your feet and you will gain something really great for having done it. Um, so yeah, you're just the universe is like almost wanting to just push you off the cliff, like go do it, you're ready. So I hope that gives you some encouragement for the next, you know, period of your life and what you're moving into. So thank you for that question anxiously. And yeah, so that concludes all of the readings for the evening. I do want to address a little bit of Panya's has some just sort of questions about tarot. I love these. So Panya has a couple little tarot questions. And one is the first one is you're wondering that when I shuffle and a card comes out just like this, right? Sometimes it comes out upside down, right? And I have a tendency to turn it back around. So that is just a personal choice as a reader. In tarot, many people who read tarot read what we call reversals. And what that means is that when the card comes out upside down like this, that you essentially are taking sort of an opposite meaning of the card to be the case. A lot of people read that way, and it's a great way. I don't judge other readers for things like this at all. You know, I know I've had readings from great tarot readers and oracle card readers and stuff who do that, and it's great, and it works really well. There's nothing wrong with it. My experiences with tarot and the way I look at it, without getting too deep into all the sort of occultism and esoteric symbolism of tarot, I just believe that the 78 cards in a tarot deck are sort of complete in terms of like, if you think of it as like a language, it really is a complete language. It can really describe all the patterns of life that we experience as human beings. And so I don't feel a need to read reversals, to have the, you know, the reversed meaning of a card. So I just read them face up. And when they come out upside down, I flip them over. Some of that also, I'll be honest, isn't such a mystical thing as habits of my life. So as a younger man, I used to play a lot of collectible card games, especially like Magic the Gathering, when I was, you know, in junior high school and, you know, high school. So like in the 1990s, I mean, I was playing Magic when it first hit the scene. Never got into Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh that much, but you know, those kinds of games. And so when you play, like Magic the Gathering, cards come out upside down, and it's just a lot easier to have them facing you right side up, to read all the information on them. So it's a little bit of that too. It's just old habit. So that's how I like to read. But again, if you read tarot or decide to learn tarot one day, there's no shame in reading reversals. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a beginner, I generally recommend people don't worry too much about it in the beginning, especially because it's just more stuff to kind of learn, and it can get a little more overwhelming. So when I teach tarot to beginners, I don't really teach them to read reversals, but I tell them, as you explore and get better with this, you're welcome to do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So that kind of covers the upside down card flyout question. And flyouts in general. So again, like some people, anytime cards just sort of fly out of the deck while they're shuffling, they will always take that as one of the cards in the reading. Some people never read the flyouts, as we often call them. I kind of go both ways with it. So again, like being someone who played a lot of card games in my youth, cards fly out and you tend to generally just throw them back in the deck while you're shuffling until you're actually dealing. So sometimes I don't grab flyouts. Sometimes it pops out and I get an intuitive hit, and I'm like, no, this is the right card. This is what it's supposed to be. So much of it is just being in touch with your intuition. The other thing about new decks, and that's a good one. I have a few relatively new decks. I've had them for a little while. I haven't really brought them out because I haven't worked with them much yet, and I like to get familiar with it before I start using it to read for others, especially. Every deck has its own kind of energy to it. You get slightly different readings. I think some decks are better for certain topics or types of readings, or just certain people, So I mean, like I have the Crow deck. I love this deck. If you're a big Crow fan, we will often go to this, because it fits you. The Rider Waite deck is kind of a more generic deck. So this is like one of the most traditional decks is this right here. This is the Rider Waite or Rider Waite Smith art. There's a million different sort of reprintings of it. It's not in copyright anymore because it's like 100 years old, more than 100 years old. So anyone can make one of these basically and print it and not get in trouble. But the art is classic, and as dated as it is, it still really, I think, hits on themes in the modern world with a little bit of interpretation. So new decks are interesting. Usually what I'll do is I'll get a new deck. First thing I'll do is I'll open it up and I'll just thumb through it. I just want to see what all the cards look like, and I'll just look at them all without trying to memorize anything. And then what I'll do is, a good sort of practice, and I'm not the best at doing this all the time. I should do this more. Is, once a day or whatever, or for as long as you want to sit with, take time to kind of learn the deck, quote unquote. What I don't do is I don't pull the book out and start reading all the meanings. That's the last thing you should do. And that's not how I teach tarot to people, to beginners. It shouldn't be a test. It shouldn't just be like this memorization thing. The book can give you some ideas. But what I do is I would shuffle it up, take some time, really shuffle it well, break it in, wash the cards, and then just go and pull one card out of the deck and really look at it, take a moment and be like, okay, this card, like this card, right? Flip your card over and just sit with your first impressions. Like when you see the card, what is the first thoughts that enter your mind? What are the first things that you feel? That's even more important. The emotions that it evokes. Do you feel any physical sensations in your body when you see this? And just really sit with that. And then start to lean into it more. Look at the picture a bit. What is the story being told in this picture? It's a powerful way to learn any tarot cards, whether, it doesn't matter what deck it is. This is how I teach tarot, is from a place of intuition. And just do that. And then maybe write, you can journal this stuff, making it into a journaling practice is great. So write it in a notebook write all your first impressions down. And then once you've done that and given yourself that time, then you can maybe pull the little booklet out or look up a meaning, and then, and then add that into your interpretation. But don't get hung up on just reading the meanings and kind of memorizing them, because this is an activity of intuition. That's really what tarot is a tool to help you connect to your inner wisdom. And that inner wisdom is the wisdom of the universe. And that's why it's so powerful when you're in alignment with that. And so that's really intuitive tarot reading 101 right there. And so thank you so much for that question. And actually, I will be offering, I'm hoping maybe by end of March, I will have a online beginner's tarot class put together for a fairly affordable price. I will be teaching one in person here in Loveland, Colorado, where I live, fairly shortly. And then once I've taught the first one, I'm going to develop that into an online course. So I'll keep you up to date on that. And certainly follow me and subscribe if you haven't already, to get updates about that when it comes out and is available, because I do hope to make that available for everyone, again, at a fairly affordable price. It'll probably be a combination of like learning through videos and some activities, and some interaction with me as well. So yeah. But yeah, just do it intuitively. Just pull a card, just sit with your first impressions. You'll do so much better with it. And just do that for a while. And then, once you feel a little more comfortable, maybe do your little, like, a 3-card reading, like past, present, future. You can even ask, that can be your question too. Like, what does this card mean? You can pull a card and be like, pull some other cards. Like, what does this card really mean? And add into that. So, all right. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. All of your support, your likes, subscribes, donations. Kanan, I'm sorry, but we did close for the evening. I am signing off. I will be back on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Mountain, Denver, U.S. time. So please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell icon, because we'll be able to get you a free reading then. And if that time doesn't work out, reach out to me through my website. I have all my links in description for the channel and this video specifically. You can get in touch with me, and we can figure out how to maybe get you a free mini reading through like email or something like that. So sorry that you kind of missed out tonight, but I hope to see you again in just a few days. And again, thank you all, and I love you all.